It's always a pleasure to present for you all. And today we'll be covering, usually we, cover some apps, but today, due to some new things you can take advantage of, we're going to cover the iPad's calendar app. So some of you may have attended this training, but there's always something new to learn. But to all the newcomers, please take advantage of your calendar, so that way you can be organized and, you're able to get your affairs in order. So please make sure that your TVs are off and your cell phones are silenced to the best of your ability. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, please raise your hand in Zoom, and I may be able to answer it during the session, though, to make sure we get through all of the information. So I really appreciate that. Before we get started, I'm just going to go over the rest of the week. Just as everyone needs a refresher, right? But again, every day you receive this email from us, from the training department, going over what's going on for the rest of the week. So just like my background on Zoom, today is National Coloring Book Day. So, all of the apps that we went over for coloring, have fun with it today. We had our morning talk show today. And again, today we'll be covering the calendar app for advanced training. We'll have the lunch club today. It will be presented. Crystal's out, but we may be able to continue that book that we did last week. So I'm still waiting on that, but I look forward to it. And we'll be ending our day with module 2. So we're learning how to use the buttons and accessibility features on your iPad. Tomorrow we'll have, again, our talk show every day, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I hope you all like the flyer. It's just time to, start your day with a smile, right?
Yes.
We have the lunch club with Caroline. At 12, we have Cyber Senior going over WhatsApp and, its functionalities and benefits. And we'll have our movie of the month tomorrow, our first one of the month. And we'll be showing Selena, the 97 movie. So, it's a great film. So I look forward to it. And we'll be ending our week, of course, again, with our talk show, our advanced session on PDF. So like what a PDF is and how you can maneuver it using your iPad. And we'll be ending with our first edition of Tech Fridays. So, all right, it's not a module, but same time, same date, same place. But we're just gonna have some fun because it's Friday, right? So we'll have one of our colleagues on the help desk talk about YouTube and how you can use it to your advantages. We have the library flyer, as always, showing the next library training. So if you like in-person assistance, please call the help desk number that you see on the flyer, and they can get you scheduled for a time slot. We have this flyer right here, a Lunch and Learn series. If you'd like to attend, the first one was yesterday, but it's just a resource available to you. And again, August is National Peach Month. Did you know? It's celebrated annually in August. During this month, people celebrate and appreciate peaches, which are one of the most popular and beloved fruits in the United States. August is typically the peak season for peach harvest in many states, making it the perfect time to enjoy these sweet and juicy fruits in various culinary delights such as pies, cobblers, jams, and fresh fruit salads. It's a great opportunity to savor the delicious taste of peaches and support local peach growers and producers. So farmers markets, all that good stuff, right?
Yes.
Again, these are the emails that you can email for assistance, anything regarding your iPad. And there's the link right here for our recorded trainings. But please make sure that you at least look at this, on Mondays. It's when you get to see for the whole week. You get to plan your week out. This highlight of the week changes. It's always good to know what's going on, right? And this flyer changes. Again, an event may, things happen, right? So things may change for the day. And you get to know what day it is. Isn't always cool? And they're like, if someone asks you what day it is, and you're like, hey, it's National Coloring Book Day. They're gonna be like, huh? And that's it. That's just something that you can do just in the back of your mind, right? So please make sure you check it out for all of this information. And it's always fun to create. And I hope it's formatted for you all in a way that it's easy to read and easy to maneuver. So I appreciate any feedback on that. But like we said before, today we'll be covering the iPad's calendar app, how to use it to create and edit events. So I know we've covered like the reminders app before. So those are like, things for like you could do with a to-do list. But if you have something that's like weekly or monthly or even daily, you can use the calendar to better look at your each day and see how you can work around it. Because, time management is really important, right? In order to make the most effective of your time. So this app actually helps me see what I have to do and how I can maneuver my day, right? So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read our disclaimer. The Wilderness Technology Alliance, DC Senior iPad program, its owners and presenters offer technical assistance, virtual help, well-being information designed for educational purposes only. You should not rely on the information in any applications or topics made by WildTech, including but not limited to mobile and device applications. And any social media pages maintained by WildTech DC Senior iPad program, its owners or presenters, as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, treatment, or legal advice. Thank you so much for letting me read the disclaimer. So again, the calendar app, it allows you to create events and appointments and meetings. So any type of, basically event that you have, you can put it on the calendar. You can view all of your calendar accounts and see your events in list, day, week, month, and year view. And you can add additional information to an event, such as location, invitees, the people you're inviting to that particular meeting, and alerts. So you can get notifications on your device, like 30 minutes before, maybe an hour before that meeting, just, again, as a notification, but also as a mental reminder note for you. So it's quite effective at that. So I'll be showing that to you all. And again, I'll be showing you the calendar that you all have on, or should have all on your iPads that, again, you can use to access our classes. So I'll be showcasing that, and again, answering any questions at the end. So please, if you do, raise your hand in Zoom, or you can put in the chat, and I may be able to answer it during the session. Let's go ahead and get started. So this is what your typical calendar app will look like when you get it filled in with events. So as you can see, it's really quite a great view for the space that you have, because you get to see all different types of things, like your schedule for the day. You get to see the specific information on the right-hand side. You can, again, view it by day, by week, by month, by year. You can search for events using the search bar, and you can access different menus, like the different calendars or the inboxes that you get from the different invites and things of that nature. So a lot of great information is packed in the space that's available. So this is what your typical calendar app will look like once you start using it. So you can open the calendar app by either tapping on the widgets on your device, or you can tap it on the, the calendar icon to access the app that should be at the bottom of your screens. So again, if I go to my home screen on my iPad, you see it says Wednesday the 2nd. The icon changes based on what day it is, which is pretty cool and dynamic. But if you look on your widgets, you should see it says Wednesday the 2nd, and it has some of the events for you already shown for that particular day. If you don't have the widget on your screen, all you do is hold the screen on the left or right hand side until the app starts shaking, and you should see a plus button on the top left hand corner. Once you tap on that, you can actually find that weather widget. So if I go down the list here, I can see weather, and then you can add the widget if you don't have it on your screen, or you may have removed it for whatever reason. So that's how you can add that particular widget to your iPad. So for the calendar, you'd search for calendar. For the weather widget, you would search for the weather widget. So once you open the calendar app, again, either by the icon or the widget, this is what should appear when you open it up. So bam, this is what you all should be seeing on your calendars. Again, because the calendar was preloaded onto your device before you received it. But that's how you open the calendar app. And we'll go into more about the different buttons and different features available. So the simplest thing to do, or the first thing you'd want to know how to do, is how to add an event, right? So you can start adding stuff to your calendar. So when you're in the calendar app, you tap on the plus button on the top of the screen. Again, if you look at the top left-hand corner of your screen when you're on your iPad, you should see those 4 buttons. Again, we're going to go into more about each of those buttons, but you should see the plus button on the top left-hand corner, and that's how you can add your event. When you tap the plus button, you'll get different options available to you that you can, again, put in the information for that event. So the first line, it says title. So you can title the event. What is the event? So for this event, for example, like what we're in today, it's titled Advanced Training Calendar App, because that's the title of the event, right? You can add the location of the event. So you can literally add a location, like a map location, or on like our calendar for the location, we actually have the Zoom link because that's where the event is, right? So you can put links or you can put actual locations in that section. Next up is the date and the time. You can edit the date and time of the event. So you can edit when, if it's for all day, when it starts, when it ends. You can also repeat the event if you want to. And so you'll be able to choose that options. You can put in travel time if necessary, and it actually does that for you based on where you're at and where you need to go. If you actually have a physical location in the location section, you can decide what calendar you want to add it to. So if you have multiple calendars, you can choose what calendar you want to put this event in. And last but not least is the invitees. You can actually add or invite people to this very event. So again, I'm going to go into the calendar app, and we are going to add an event to the calendar. You do that by hitting the plus button on the top left-hand corner. And again, this the keyboard should pop up and you should be able to type in a new event. So let's say one event is maybe a grocery store, right? So maybe today, or tomorrow, let's say tomorrow, I need to go to the grocery store. So you can simply put in grocery store or whatever you want to put in the title that makes it easy for you to look at and know what you're doing. For the location, again, I can type in an actual location for the grocery store. So for example, I can type in Walmart, and I'm going to go to the one in Fort Top because I like that one. It's been a minute. So sometimes, just depending on what you're typing in, you may have to know the actual physical address. So, you know, sometimes those are the limitations, so you have to be creative. So let's just say I was going to an address. So 300 H Street Northeast. There's the Giant right there. Let me go to Giant instead. It's closer to me anyway, right? So there you go. There's the location for that grocery store. I can even change the title again and put Giant, or, you know, eventually I may just need to put Giant and I know what it is. So it's up to you. So let's say it's not going to be an all-day event, but it starts, let's say tomorrow, so the 3rd of August. Getting crazy, it's August already, right? And let's say I want to go at 3 p.m. It automatically changes it for it to end an hour later. So let's say an hour, that's fine. But let's say I'm on a time crunch. Let me put 3:45, and that's how I can change the start and the end time. And I can change the time zone. So we're all in DC, so you know, we should be on New York, but if we travel, we can then change that time zone for whatever reason, planning to or something. I can factor in travel time again just by tapping on it. And look, it says add travel time for this event to your calendar. Event alerts will take this time into account in your calendar, will be blocked during this time. So you can put in travel time if you would like to. I can repeat it if I want. So look, I can repeat it every day. I won't be going to the grocery store every day, but maybe every week. So let's do that. Let's put it as every week. And then you can even choose, if you do that option, if you want to end it. So again, I can choose never, or I can choose a date. that I want to end it. So maybe I'll end it on the 26th if I wanted to. So if it's towards that event, but I'll need to eat after the 26th of September, right? So I think I'm going to just put never, because that would be a weekly thing. So next up, I can change up the what calendar it's on. So I can either put on my work calendar or my personal calendar if I want. So I'm just gonna put on my work calendar. You can always edit it out or delete it if you need to for whatever reason. So there. And then you can actually add invitees. So if this was an actual event or, you know, somewhere where you're actually inviting folks to come, you can potentially, if you'd like, to put their emails. So you can email them an invitation, or you can put in their contact information if you have them in your contacts. So it's quite cool, and they can reply to you, they can accept it, they can request a different time, they can decline it, things for that reason. So you can add invitees to your event. Okay, so that's the first half of adding an event. So it's going to just going through the motions. After you add the invitees, you can add an alert. So if you wanted to get a reminder, like 30 minutes before, you can set that alert beforehand. You can indicate if you're free or busy with the show as button. You can add a website link if you need to, like if it's not the actual Zoom link, but like, you know, not google.com, but it's a website that you need to access the meeting. You can put that URL there if you want. And then you can add notes like details and agendas or information in the notes for others to look at, especially if you're inviting them for example. Bertha asked in the chat, the calendar app should be, again, if you look on your device, it should, the calendar icon should say today's date. So it would say Wednesday the 2nd, or if you need to search for the calendar app for whatever reason, again, it should be on the bottom of your device's Foster, but you can use the app. Yeah, you can use the app library. You can use the app library. You can use the app library to search for it. So if you hit the bottom right icon and type in calendar, you can search for that app, or you can swipe down for the spotlight and then search for that app as well. So that's how you can find the calendar app. So yeah, let's go back to the calendar app and finish editing our event. So if I go to alert, look, I can do time to leave. So what time I need to leave in order to get to that address on time. I can set it for 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before, 15 minutes before, etc. And you can even add a second alert as well by doing that. So if I wanted one an hour before and 30 minutes before, I can set that up too. I can show as busy or free. So, you know, I may want to be focusing on grocery shopping, right? So I may show myself as busy, but it's up to you. I can add a URL if I need to for whatever reason. So I may need to go to giant.com and sign in and find some coupons, right? If I didn't have the Giant app, for example, I do. So, you know, for Safeway, especially, I look at the coupons on my app. But if you didn't have access to it for whatever reason, it's always good to just maybe get that reminder too. Oh, giant.com. I need to go to the Giant app and see my rewards, things of that nature. And again, last but not least, I can add notes. So maybe I can put the 3 main things that I need at the grocery store. I may put it on my reminders as my list, but it may be, you may need to do other things like pick up family member afterward or something, or you can put like, don't forget, I misspelled that. Let me go ahead and fix that. Afterward. And then I may need to go to the bank before, or go to the bank next door, because there may be a bank next door that I can go to for whatever reason. So you can add as many notes as you want in the section in whatever format that you'd like. So that's how you can add an event, and you can be as detailed as possible. Sometimes I just put the title and maybe the date and the time and let it go. But it just depends on how frequent or how important this event is. But all you do is hit add, And there you go. You see tomorrow I have for 3 to 4 p.m. I have grocery store Giant. On the right-hand side, I see more information like the day, the time. It says repeats weekly. It gives me the actual like map. You see there's a little picture right here of the Giants on each street. Like that's pretty cool, right? And you can see the notes, the URL, and all the different alerts. So tomorrow at 2 p.m., I'll get a notification saying grocery store Giant. At 2:30, same thing. So it's, you know, a good reminder for the weekly or the events that you regularly have. So that's how you add an event in the calendar app. So pretty simple so far. You can use Siri to create an event. You can ask Siri to create or state information about a meeting. So here are a few examples. You can say, set up a meeting with Alex at 9:30. Do I have a meeting at 10? Or where is my 3:30 meeting? And Siri will actually be able to assist you with that information. So for example, let me do this on my phone. Since we're on Zoom, I can't do it on my iPad, but I'm going to do it on my phone. So let me say this. Hey Siri, set up a meeting with Alex at 9:30 tomorrow. And then it comes up, it says, what do you want to call it? And then you'll say it and it'll go through the information. So I wish I could show you that through Zoom, but it works. So you can use Siri to create an event if you need to in a quick minute. You can delete an event. So you can tap on the event you want to delete. So on the left-hand side, again, when you tap on, you see the information, and you tap on delete event button at the bottom of the screen. So again, quite simple. You see if I go right here to this event that we were at, you see it says delete event at the bottom. So if you need to delete it, it's really easy to do that. You can, again, invite others to an event. So you can invite people to an event you've scheduled. You tap on the event. If you didn't do beforehand, you know, adding those invitees, and you tap edit on the top right-hand side. You tap invitees, and again, you enter the names if you have them in the contacts or the email addresses of the people you want to invite. And then you tap done and it sends them an email with the invitation. So again, we go back to the calendar app and you see on the event on the right-hand side, you see it says edit. And when you hit edit, you can then again edit the information once you've created that event if there are any changes that you need to do. So again, you can add invitees, you can change the alert, the notes, etc. So it's quite simple to navigate and how to, again, edit that event further. Once you have those invitees, you can actually email all of them for an event. Again, for an example, to share event details or maybe a document, for example. So for this event that I did back in November, I invited myself for 2 different accounts. And you see that once you add them, you should see an email icon, and you can actually email them separately together for, like, again, those event details or for a correction or something. So that's how you can quickly email all attendees. That's what that email icon does when you get to that section. You can actually reply to an event invitation. So let's say that you receive an invite from somebody. Those will appear in your calendar inbox. Your calendar inbox, again, we went over the plus button earlier, that 4th button right here from the left-hand side. But now we're going to go on the 2nd button right here. That's how you can open your messages that you get from others, your invitations. So if I go back to my calendar app, again, on the top left-hand side, that 2nd icon right there, that's how you can view your inbox. So I've already responded to mine already this week, but if I didn't, all of them would appear. But then what you would have seen is like something like this: accept, maybe decline, accept, maybe decline. So again, you can see all of your new invitations, and you can see all of the invitations that you replied to already, and maybe change your mind. So I accepted all of my meetings for this week, but if I'm out, for example, I would then decline that meeting. So that will let the organizer know that you won't be in that meeting. So that's the calendar inbox. You can even suggest a different event time, for example. So, you know, maybe you receive an invitation, but maybe 3 o'clock doesn't work for you, maybe 4 o'clock does. You can actually suggest a different time for that event. You tap on that event that you opened, and then you hit where it says propose new time. So it would say propose new time, and you would go through the motions of saying what time you want it. So if you wanted it 4 p.m., you would put 4 p.m., and then you would tap done and then send. So you would just, again, follow the prompts on the screen to suggest a different event time if that one doesn't particularly work for you. And this doesn't work for every event. It depends on the settings from the other person, but you should see it if you get an invitation sent to you. You can also change how you view events. So you can view it differently. If you didn't want to see in that calendar format, you can, again, view it 1 day at a time, 1 week at a time, a month at a time, or a year. Or you can view a list of upcoming events. So there are so many ways to view your calendar, again, by day, week, month, or year. And you can even view your upcoming events as a list. So if we go back to this top left-hand corner again, we went over the 4th button, we went over the 2nd button, and now we're going over the 3rd button. So that it looks like a list. So this is how you can view your events in a list, right? So let's go back to the calendar app, and again, tap on that 3rd button from the top left-hand corner. When we do that, as you can see, all of our events that are going on for the rest of the week, I can view them in a list format, right? Which is really cool. And then I can even tap on them and it goes to that event. So tomorrow's talk show, you see on the right-hand side, it changes dynamically if I tap something on the left, which is pretty cool. So you can look at that particular event, but also look at the events around it, right? So again, today, if I tapped on today's session, the calendar app, you see it, I can see what's going on for the rest of the day as well, which is pretty convenient, right? You can search for events in the calendar. So you can search for events by title, by invitees, by location, by notes. And you do that by simply hitting the search button at the top right-hand corner. So that magnifying glass, you'll see it across many, if not all, really apps, because that's a really, really common thing that they put a magnifying glass in for the search bar. You tap on that search bar, and again, you can search for the different events. So let's say I wanted to search for that event we just created. So let me type in, you can type in anything. So if I type in Giant, look, grocery store Giant, right there. If I type in an address, it's 300 H Street, look, that even pops up for that event, which is pretty cool. So you can search for events in many different ways from year on and beyond. So you can even look at previous events as well. So maybe you needed to look up that information again for whatever reason, or see the topic. So you can actually view previous events from before or later events after, and using the search bar. You can customize a calendar. So if you'd like, you can customize it by going to settings and finding the calendar section on the left-hand side. You can change certain things like picking which day of the week the calendar starts with. You can choose your default calendar if you have more than one. You can display week numbers, so what week number that is for that particular week, and more. So that's if you'd like. Again, you go to settings on your device and you look for the calendar section. So again, you're in module 4, we go over how to scroll and what's underneath these sections and settings, but we're going to try to look for the calendar app. So there you go. It's towards the top half underneath context. It says calendar. And again, you can change different settings. Like if you want the week numbers, you can turn that on and off. You can choose your default calendar. So on my iPad, my default calendar is my work calendar, but you can change that if you want. You can change for new events. You can change the default duration. So default, it's for an hour, but let's say you just wanted to start adding events for 30 minutes. You can change that right there. So that's if you want to mess around with these settings. I don't do it too much because, I think it's pretty good as it is, but again, I think week numbers would be nice. So let me turn that option on, but again, it's up to you. There's also this alternate calendars option. So you can change it to the Chinese calendar, Hebrew calendar, or Islamic calendar if you'd like. So I think that's a cool feature. Yeah, so that's how you can customize your calendar. And you can also set up multiple calendars to keep track of different kinds of events, right? Additional calendars are easy to set up and a great way to stay organized. So for example, for this example right here, they have different calendars for work, for family, for personal, for school. So that's if you like to, go, that in depth, and certainly nothing wrong with that. But if you are the type of person that wants to be really organized and you really want to separate, work, family, personal, school, whatever other activities, then it's really simple to set up multiple calendars. You do that by hitting the calendars icon in the calendar app. So again, if I go back to the calendar app, we went over the new event button, we went over the calendar list button, we went over the calendar inbox button, and now we're going over the last button right at the top left-hand side, this calendar button. So as you can see on mine, I have different calendars from different accounts. I have, different accounts from my work, my semi-professional work, email. So yours will be a lot more simpler. So, but you get to see all of your different calendars at a glance, and you can turn them on or off. So again, if I go here and go to where it says subscribed, all of you should have this right here, and it should be turned on. It's the WTA DACL calendar. Again, it should be preloaded on your device so you can see all of our events in this calendar app, as well as the email as well. So I can turn them on or off. So if I didn't want to see this for a reason, I would just go right here and turn off that check mark, and it would disappear until I turn it back on. So let's say you just want to look at one calendar for a time, just to, focus on one thing at a time if you're that type of person. You can shut them on or off. But if you wanted to add an additional calendar, you tap on Add Calendar at the bottom left-hand side. And again, you hit Add Calendar if you want to add a different calendar. So you should get to a screen that sort of looks like this. When you do that, first you enter the name for the calendar. So again, work, personal. If you were in classes, I would put the class name, for example, or something like that, or even keep it general and put school, for example. And once you find the name, you enter the color. You can choose a different color for the calendar if you'd like. And that's how you add another calendar to your account. So again, let's say I'm adding a calendar for, let's say we were doing Girl Scouts, I wouldn't want to put my Girl Scout stuff or Boy Scout stuff in my work calendar. So let's make a separate one. You put in whatever it is, you can change the color. So again, let's do purple, or you can even customize it if you want. Then you can choose what account, if you have multiple accounts, and you can add it to each one. So for myself, that in my iCloud, and I'm gonna hit done. So there you go. Now the Girl Scouts calendar is here, and then I can start adding events to it. So let's turn off the WildTech calendar for a second, and let's say we're adding events. So let's say interest meeting or something. Again, I'm just making this up. And let's say let's forego a location for now. Let's say it's for today. Let's say it's for 12 p.m. So in just about 15 minutes. And let's say, again, hour travel time. And it doesn't repeat. And look, when you get to calendar, I can change it to look Girl Scouts. You see, I can change it to that calendar from here. And then I would add as many invitees or notes. So for notes, let's say like bring food or something. You can be as specific as you want, but and there you go. You can even add attachments too, which is pretty cool. Like you can add a photo, you can add a file, you can add an attachment to the calendars as well if you see this option, which is pretty cool. So once you have all the information in there, you hit add, and there you go. That's the meeting right there in our Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, whatever calendar. So that's how you can add an additional calendar for different aspects of different parts if you want to keep things organized. So that's how you can set up a calendar. You can also share your calendar with others. So again, with other iCloud users, again, this is, we're an iPad, so Apple device. So when you share a calendar, others can see it, and you can also let them add or change events if you want. So you can also share a read-only version that anyone can view, but not change. So just thinking for you, let's say you live with a family member that assists you or something. So you can create the calendar and you can share it with them to their device, and they can view it, but only you would be able to change it. So that's an example that you can use. So you would do that by going to your calendars, again, that calendar list that we looked at before, and you would tap on the I symbol or the information symbol next to the iCloud calendar that you want to edit or share. Again, you're sharing the iCloud calendars. So on the left-hand side, let's say I wanted to share this Girl Scouts calendar. I would find it in the calendars icon. Again, you're hitting the top left button on the iPad, and you would find the calendar that you want to share and then hit the I button on the right-hand side of it. So you see when you do that, again, you can edit it, the name, the color, who it's shared with, you can allow notifications. And again, look, right, when I hit public calendar, I can then, that's how you share a read-only version of your calendar. So again, you tap the add person if you want to add the events, or sorry, the invitees to that event, for example, or that calendar, and then you would hit add, and then you would hit public calendar, and then share link to send the copy of the website link for your calendar, again, through mail, through iMessage if you have that enabled, etc. So you can share it right here, so that way they can change or add events if they'd like, or you can share a read-only version of that calendar. You would hit share link, and again, you would send it through mail, iMessage. You can even copy the link, for example, and you would send it to that, again, that iPod user or Apple user, so they can add it to their account. So, okay. So yeah, that's a general overview of how you can use your Apple Calendar. So again, we went over, or let's say done, for example, you gotta hit done. We went over the different buttons on the left-hand side. So again, this is your calendars list. This is your calendar inbox, your calendar list, and we learned how to add a new event and details to our event. We also learned how to change our view of the calendar. So we can do it by day, we can do it by week, we can do it by month, or even we can do it by year if we'd like. We can also search for events using the search bar at the top left. If you hit today below that, it'll automatically go to today. And let's go back to day to view that day. And we also learned how to delete events and edit events once we initially add them to our calendar. So I have a quick overview for you all. So a video version as well, just going over the things that we went over today, and then I'll be answering questions at the end, okay? So I hope that was useful and informative for you all. So let's see what Mr. Boland has to say.
I used to have calendars that hung on the wall, or little magnet calendars that were mailed to me by my insurance company. I usually stuck those on the refrigerator. Those sort of things fell out of favor when those Dayminder books came along. I never had one, but I guess they were okay. I had friends who had their whole lives wrapped up in those thick things. Well, thank God the world's moved on. Now I use Apple Calendar on my iPad to keep things organized, on track, and up to date, and you can too. Apple's iPad Calendar app is easy to use, it's powerful, and just a great way to keep track of appointments and birthdays and more. And it's already on your iPad. If you're a senior or beginner wanting to learn a few basic things about using Apple Calendar,
Oops, my bad, you all.
I keep things organized, on track, and up to date, and you can too. Apple's iPad Calendar app is easy to use, it's powerful, and just a great way to keep track of appointments and birthdays and more. And it's already on your iPad. If you're a senior or beginner wanting to learn a few basic things about using Apple Calendar, then stick around. This video is for you. Hi, and welcome to the channel. My name is Rich, and I make videos for beginners and seniors who want to learn how to use their iPhone and iPad without all the frustration. I try to keep everything simple. I leave those super deep dive videos to others. Here, I just try to show you how you can get up and running. Today, I'm going to give you 5 tips that'll help you get started using Apple Calendar. And by the way, once you get the hang of using the calendar app, you'll wonder how you live without it. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll show you how to share your calendar with someone else. My wife and I share a calendar. It helps us stay in sync. So here are today's 5 tips. I'm going to show you how to make sure your calendar is backed up to iCloud, which is super important, how to turn on notifications or turn them off if they drive you crazy, how to navigate around the calendar app, how to add a new event to a calendar or delete an event, and how to create multiple calendars. And if you stick around to the end, I'll give you a bonus tip on how to share your calendar with someone else, like me, with your spouse. All right, let's get started. The first thing I want to show you is how to make sure your Apple Calendar is backed up to iCloud. Very simple to do. All you do is go into settings like this. You tap on your name up here, and then you go to iCloud right here. And then you can see that you have a whole bunch of different applications that can be backed up to iCloud. You want to go down and find calendars. Here I don't have it backed up, so I'm going to turn it on. And now every calendar entry I make is backed up to iCloud. So what does that mean, backing it up to iCloud? It just means that all of your devices will sync up. So if you happen to have an iPhone and you open the calendar app, it's going to have the same appointments on it that you have on your iPad. So it's really important to keep that backed up. If for some reason your iPad were to die and you had to go buy a new iPad, if you've backed up your calendar appointments to iCloud, then when you set up your new iPad, just everything shows up again. You don't have to worry about losing any appointments. And so that's why it's really important to make sure your calendar is backed up to iCloud. All right, the next thing I want to show you is how to turn on notifications. So your iPad will give you a notification when you have an event or an appointment coming up that's on your calendar. And I'll show you how to do that. So the first thing you do is you go back to settings like we were before, and you go to notifications right there, tap on it. And you go down and you find calendar, tap on that. And then right here you can click on allow notifications or not allow notifications. Notifications, that's really kind of a personal preference. Sometimes you just don't want to be bugged and nagged by your iPad that you've got an appointment. You know you've got an appointment and you don't want any notifications. Sometimes it's handy to have them. So if you want to set it up, you just tap on allow notifications. And then you have 3 types of notifications here. You have a lock screen. That means that if your iPad is sitting there and you don't even have it on, it's just sitting on the table in front of your TV set, and you have an appointment that's coming up, a little notification will pop up on the screen and let you know that you've got an appointment. So the next thing is Notification Center. And Notification Center is a place that you can get to and look at whatever notifications you have. And if you take your finger and swipe down from the top, you get Notification Center, and it'll show you all the appointments that you have on your iPad if you allow it to give notifications to Notification Center. So going back, we also have a choice of banners, and what that means is that a banner will actually show up at the top of your iPad when an appointment is due, and it'll stay there until you swipe it away if you have the banner style set to persistent, which just means it's going to stay on there until you just take your finger and swipe it away. But these are the 3 ways that you get notifications on the iPad, and you can turn those off or on, and you can do them individually too. If you don't want banners and you don't want Notification Center, you just want lock screen, then you just uncheck those. But if you want all 3, then you just check them back like that. And that's how you get notifications set up for Apple Calendar. All right, finally, let's dive into the Calendar app. I want to show you how to navigate around the app. So when you open Calendar, it'll typically look like this. And you have some icons up here at the top.
Yeah,
the first one is a little calendar icon on your calendar. So you can tap that and you can see what calendars you have available here. And if you don't want to see a certain calendar, you could just uncheck it. So maybe US holidays, you don't want those, you can uncheck that. And it's just a list of your calendars. And when you tap it again, it goes away, so you have your whole calendar on your screen. The next one looks like a little inbox. If you tap on the inbox, sometimes people will send you an invitation. So they're inviting you to a party and they send you an invitation via email, and you accept that invitation. That invitation will show up in your inbox, and if you accept it here, then it goes onto your calendar. So that's what the inbox is for. And if you tap on the next one, it just shows a bunch of lines with a little dot. You actually get a list of all of your appointments over here. And when you tap on them, you can go to any one of them and it'll switch the day. Just like that. You can go to Earth Day, you can go to Cinco de Mayo. And if you want to go back to today, all you have to do is tap on the Today view right over here. Just tap on the word Today, and it takes you all the way back to where you were at the very beginning. So that is how you navigate using these little icons over here. If you don't want to see this list, you just tap on it again and it goes away. And then of course you have different views for your calendar. You've got Day View, which shows you whatever you've got going on for the day. You've got a Week View, which shows you everything here. You've got a Month View that you can look at, and then you actually have a Year View that you can look at. And so you can see where your appointments are, just like that. So you've got day, week, month, and year. Really handy. And it's not very complicated, but that's about all there is to navigating around on the calendar app. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is how to add an event or an appointment to your calendar. So it's pretty simple. You open up the calendar app like it is here, and all you do is you press the plus right here. So I'm just going to say visit mom, and if you'll notice it says today, and maybe I want it to be an all-day event. I'm just going to visit mom for the whole day. You can just click on that and it turns it into an all-day event for today's date. But maybe you change your mind and it's not an all-day event, so you just tap it off and you're going to go between maybe in the afternoon, say 2 o'clock, and you're going to stay till maybe 5 o'clock. And you do that, and then you just click add. And now you've added an appointment to your calendar, and here we're looking at it in Day View, and you get the details of the appointment over here by tapping on it, and you can see visit mom, and then of course it shows up in the Week View over here as well. And that's a really simple way to just add an appointment to your calendar. Now, maybe you want to delete that appointment. Maybe you made an appointment, plans changed, you know how life is, and you just need to delete it. So all you have to do is tap on it, and you'll see at the bottom where it says delete event. You can just tap delete event, and it's gone. And it's as simple as that, and that's how you delete an event. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is how to create calendars. Now, you know, in the paper world, you had one calendar and, you know, you'd flip it up and there'd be the 30 squares there. But with Apple's calendar, you can have multiple calendars, and sometimes that's really handy to keep track of stuff. So to create an additional calendar, you simply tap on the calendar here and you tap on add calendar. And maybe you want a medical calendar to keep track of your doctor appointments. So you type on medical, or you create you type the name of the calendar. Medical, we'll just leave it at medical. And we're going to leave the account as an iCloud account. We're going to change the color to, let's say, red. And then we tap back. And then we tap done. So now I've got a new calendar entitled medical, and let's say I'm going to make a doctor's appointment.
That's really important, right?
For, let's say, next week, Thursday at 2 p.m. So you press again, and
yeah,
you're
you
going
can
to make
even
an
hold
appointment.
and create an event right there on the calendar as well, in that area of what time you want it to be.
Except this time,
Yep, he has to change it.
you're going to choose the calendar, and it's not going to be the calendar. You're going to choose medical.
If you wanted to.
And now you click add, and as you see, the appointment turned red, which shows you that it's on your medical calendar. And maybe you don't want to look at any other appointments at all, and when you have multiple calendars, you can just unclick them, uncheck them one by one, and leave on only your medical calendar. And now you'll see just the doctor appointments that you have. And then of course, if you want to add them back, you just simply tap in the little round circle and add the calendars back, the appointments for those calendars. And you can have as many calendars as you want. You know, maybe you have a vacation calendar, maybe you have a medical calendar, maybe you have a church calendar. I mean, it could just really be anything that you want to keep track of. So just remember that you can have multiple calendars. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is how to share a calendar. So, you know, my wife and I, she has an iPhone and an iPad, and I have an iPhone and an iPad. And we like to know where each of us is going to go. And we have a vacation calendar and we have a medical calendar and these kind of things. And we can share that. And when I share that with her, my calendar with her, then when she opens up her phone, she can see what my appointments are. And it's a really cool way to let a few people keep track of where you are. And sharing the calendar is really easy. All you do is you tap on the little calendar, and then we're going to say we're going to share the medical calendar we just made. You click on the little I, and now you click on Add Person, and I'm going to type in Rhonda, and then her email address automatically comes up. I'm just going to tap on that.
That's only if you're
and
in
I'm
your
going to click on
contacts. If not, you have to type in their email.
And then I'm going to click on Done. And now you'll see that the calendar is shared with Rhonda Boland. So now she has a copy of my medical calendar on her iPad, and I have it on my iPad, and she has it on her iPhone, and I have it on my iPhone. It's just something that you might want to do with important calendars just so everybody can stay on track. And that is how you share a calendar. Wow. I know that's a lot of info to take in, but you can practice making appointments and delete them. There's really no way to mess things up since you can just, delete any entry that you make on the calendar. So take your time. And if you need to go back and watch this video a few times to figure everything out, just do it. You'll be glad you did. Well, as always, I hope you found these tips helpful. Thanks so much for watching.
Yeah, so just a quick summary of what we just went over this past hour or so. So I hope that was useful, and maybe you got a new idea in your head. So I hope that was helpful for you all. So again, just really quick, there are many ways to access and look at our events for the week. So again, if I go to our calendar as we have been, and let me turn back on our subscription calendar. Again, you should be all seeing something like this when you open your calendar app. So today, Good Morning Wild Time. If I tapped on that, let me tap on that. You see it gives the the Zoom link, and you can actually hit join to join the meeting. So if, for example, for this, you just wanted to quickly access it, and you don't want to go through your email, you can go to your calendar app and also join the class through here. You will hit join. You can also see some notes on the right-hand side. Again, I would suggest you look at the email for the notes because of the way everything is kind of formatted. And that's because it's a Google versus a Apple calendar. So some things don't translate in that manner. So again, if you want to look more information and read a little smoother, then you would access the email. But with the calendar app, that's how you can, again, quickly access like the title or like what's going on if you need to. And you can also join the class through there. So again, the calendar app, you have the book club today, and then we have our modules. So you'll be able to join all our classes from the calendar app as well. You can also see what's going on for the rest of the week from the calendar app. So tomorrow we have the lunch hour, we have Cyber Senior, our 1:30 guest. We have our movie tomorrow on Friday. I'm on vacation, so you won't see me all on Friday, but you got to see the different events. Same thing for Monday. You see on Monday, you get to maybe see a preview of what's going on for the week. So as you can see, on Monday's advanced session, Teresa will be covering selling on Amazon. But again, the sports edition Lunch Club module that'll be happening. So you can swipe through the different events on your calendar, and it's you get to see it in a visual manner. You get the nice little emojis on the event, so it's more visual. If and it looks nice to look at, so you can again, view all of our sessions through different manners, through email, through the calendar, through the text that you guys should be receiving before our session. So there's a lot of ways to see what's going on for the week and for the day. Okay, so at this point, I'll be answering questions based on my hands, and then again, answer any further questions that anyone may have. We'll be ending at 11:50, so that we all can eat something to drink or so, and then we'll have our lunch club at 12 o'clock. So please stay on for that. But again, we learn so much from each other. So please ask your question and listen to other questions. You all ask great thinking questions. So I know everyone appreciates that. First up is Miss Melanie. Go ahead and hit unmute, and so that way you can ask your question. So Miss Melanie, can you hear us? So again, go ahead and hit, there you go. How's it going, Miss Melanie?
I'm fine. How you doing? I wanted to ask, how do I access the recordings? I saw that now, but how do I add bi-weekly on a calendar?
Okay, were those two questions right there, Miss Melanie?
Yes, I saw the first one, but how do I add bi-weekly?
Like to an event to your calendar, right?
Yes, to my calendar.
Okay, yes, so that's a great question. So let's go back to the calendar app and let's add an event. When you add an event by, again, hitting this plus button on the calendar, when you scroll down, you would hit the repeat option, because if it's bi-weekly, that means you're repeating it for a certain amount of time, right?
Okay.
So if you wanted bi-weekly, I would, instead of never, I would tap on 2 weeks, because that's what bi-weekly is, right? So again, you can do it every day. So if you have a daily thing going on, you can put every day. So that would be, Sunday through Saturday. You could put every week if you had a weekly thing, a monthly thing, a yearly thing. You can even, if you hit custom, you can even customize it, right? So you can even make it more specific. But yeah, if you want it every 2 weeks, you would put every 2 weeks. And that's how you would edit that, okay?
Okay, yes, thank you.
No problem, Ms. Melanie. I hope you enjoyed today.
Yes, I did.
Thank you so much. Let us know if you need anything else, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you. Next up is Brenda. Hey, Brenda, how's it going?
Okay, it's going good, Alex. Now, Alex, I'd like to set up 2 calendars, one for my medical appointments and one for just for birthdays, for family, friends, extended family. And also, would I have to set up the calendar first? And if I make any changes on it, can I ask Siri to do it?
Yes.
Okay, so good questions, Brenda. So, so yes, you're able to add different, those calendars, and those are great ideas, Brenda, because, again, on just one calendar, sometimes it would get a lot, especially if they're, quite different in what they're actually covering. So again, I would hit add calendar, and then again, hit add calendar, and then I would write medical, and then make it whatever color I want, and then hit done. So again, you see now it says medical, and then I would hit add calendar, again, hit add calendar again, and then I would put like family birthdays, or however you would want to title it.
Okay.
Family birthdays. And then those are your calendars. So let's turn off the other ones for now. Again, everything is off but those.
Those 2, right?
Yeah. So just if you wanted to see those by themselves, it just depends. Like if I wanted to turn those back on, like this one, they're right there, but then I can still look at it if I add events, because I don't have any events on there yet, right? So what you would do, well, let's say family birthday. So just as an example, and what I would do if I was making this calendar, so I would put I'm just putting a AB birthday, or whatever. I would type in whatever title I want, and then I would make it an all-day event, because that's kind of an all-day thing, right? So you would find the date for that person. So let's say it's August 30th, right? And
Okay.
then, so N starts there. And then for repeat, guess what I would put? Every year,
Every
right?
year, right?
So you would do that. It would never, not, it, I wanted to, yeah, never end the repeat. It would just be a yearly thing. And then you can, do as you want with the event. You can pick the venue. You can invite, like, I don't know, the parents or the other family members. You can invite your family members or your guests or something. I would put that invitee and then put like the agenda in the notes. I would put the like where to sign up or where to put your RSVP for like the URL or something. And I would make the alerts. Again, this is a birthday, so maybe I wanted a week, I want to know a week before, maybe even like 2 weeks before or something for that event. So I would put like 1 week before. I would put the second alert like two days before or whatever, just again, as a reminder for you and the people that you invited. And I would make sure to put it as the family birthdays calendar, right?
Right.
So you got to change it to family birthdays, add your invitees, again, put the location, so like the venue or something, and the dates, and the alerts, and maybe any attachments, maybe again, a flyer or a poster or a PDF or something you can add as an attachment, and again, add notes or the URL or possible. So once you hit add, cool, it's right here, AV birthday, you see it automatically goes to that day.
Right.
And you see it says all day right here. And then you can edit it here on the right-hand side.
Okay. Now, let me ask you about the medical. Now, say I have an appointment the 22nd of August. Will Siri give me a notification or a chime like maybe 2 days before my appointment so I'll remember?
Yeah, so it's not going to be Siri that sends, it's going to just be your notification. So again, when you turn on your iPad, right, you probably see some type of notification either from like the calendar app or any of the other apps that you downloaded. So it'll send you, it'll make that sound. But again, you'll see it, either if you're on or using the iPad, it will appear as, the banner at the top. But if you're not using your iPad, it'll be in your notifications. So that's why it's important to look before you turn on your device. Like you hit the home button and you look at your notifications, and you will see that at the very top. That's one of the priorities for the calendar app. So again, you can set that alert up in that event. So for example, if I can add this event, and let's say I have a doctor's appointment, I will put in the date, the time, all that information, and then for alerts, and I would choose when I want that alert. So for a doctor's appointment, especially with something in the future, I would do like 1 week before, and then maybe I would do like 2 days before or something. So you'll be able to edit that information either when you make that event, or you can edit it after you add it to your calendar.
Okay, got it. I got it. All right. Thanks, Alex.
Oh no, those are great questions. Because this is real practical, right? Because nowadays, some people got a lot to do, so it's good to just have that visual, that that organization, so you can focus more on that actual event versus thinking about what else is going on. So all these other calendars, it's good because like I have the WildTech calendar, but I also have my my work calendar, because I have to look at the different things regarding like our online sessions, but also like the other things that I have to do. So you may have seen like training meeting or something like that. So I'm able to look at through the different calendars what's going on that day, and then I can decide to not show some calendars for like maybe sometimes like clarity or something. So yeah. But thanks so much, Brenda.
Thank you, Alex.
Let us know if you need anything else.
Okay.
Next up is Anne. Hey, Anne. Nice to see you on. How's it going?
Hello.
And hey, Anne. How's it going?
It's going. Okay. First of all, I wanted to ask you where the app is, because I can't find it. But then I found it over on the side by the weather. So is there another app, or just go there?
So again, you should see the calendar icon. Again, it should say like the date, so the weekday and like the day. So on my end, it says Wednesday the 2nd. So you should
Oh,
see that at the
okay.
bottom of your iPad, or you should see the widget on the first screen if that was preloaded onto your device. You can either access the calendar app with the widget, or you can access it again with the calendar icon at the bottom. It just depends on where you're at. So if I was like right here, for example, I would use the
Uh-huh.
calendar icon to tap, so I don't have to swipe over. But if I'm on the home screen and the very first screen, then I would just use the widget to access the calendar
Okay,
app.
okay, all right. I'm still looking for I saw the widget, but I just still don't see the
So
calendar.
what you can do is, and you can use the app library at the bottom right hand side. So if you're looking for an app, and you can hit the very bottom right icon. Again, this is the app library, and you should see at the
Okay,
top it says app library, and then you can type in the name of the app that you want to search for. So look, I
okay,
typed in calendar and it's right here. And also, if you wanted to get that shortcut so you don't have to type it in, you can hold where it says calendar, right? And then you
uh-huh,
can drag it onto your screen to whatever thing you wanted to add it to. So again, if
okay,
I wanted to add it, well, let's say again to the bottom, you see I just dragged it to the bottom. Or I can add it on this screen right here. So I can have the calendar icon there. So you can have the same icon multiple times on your device. It just depends on like how often you use it. So so yeah, that's how you can search for the calendar app. So try searching for that app and let us know if you can find it. Okay.
okay. And Brenda asked the question that I was other question, so I followed what you told her, so I think I can do that. Because I was
Okay.
looking for a medical and a birthday calendar. So she answered that question, so you don't have to waste their time with me again. So I shall
Oh,
move on.
oh, I'm glad that Brenda's question was helpful for you, and yeah, it's really good to be organized. So thanks for that feedback. We appreciate it. Let us
Mhm.
know if you find that calendar app. Okay.
Okay.
Brenda, you had another question?
Yeah, you know what? I just looked at my app on my iPad, and it had the
Mhm.
number 1 beside it. So what does that mean?
So you mean like on the icon, it says like the
Yeah,
number
you know,
one?
it's right. It's got Wednesday the 2nd, and it's got a 1 right above it.
Yes. So what that means, okay, so that one, so these numbers, so if you look at, again on my screen, you see at the bottom, like my mail app, it says 48,000 something. For YouTube, it says 681. And then for the Start Simple app, it says 1. Those are called badges. Those badges let you know that you may need to look at something in the app that's like new. So like first, like
Oh,
settings, it's if you see settings, if it says like 1 or 2 or something on settings, that
right,
means you have to adjust something in settings, like maybe doing a
right.
backup or just like confirming like the new terms and conditions from Apple or something. But that just lets you know that you may need to respond to something.
Okay,
Usually in the calendar app, if you have a badge on that icon, that means you received an invitation. So when you're in your calendar app, Brenda, take a look at the top left hand corner and tap on that second icon. You might have
okay,
that might be where the 1 is, and you might have received an invitation for something. So
okay,
check that out.
okay,
But that is called a badge. So that's a
okay.
good question.
All right. Thanks, Alex.
No problem. And did you have another question? I'm not. Your hand is still raised. Go ahead and unmute.
Me,
Yes, I was wondering about that. So Brenda had asked the question. So thank you, Brenda.
Sure.
Yeah, no problem, Anne. Thanks so much. Anybody else have a question about the calendar app?
yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Hi, Miss Melanie. How are you?
Yeah, I might have this wrong, but I could go back and listen to all the recordings for the classes that I missed, or just for the one that I've had recorded.
So, okay, so Miss Melanie, so you can access it's not going to be every recording, but the ones that we do have up on YouTube. Again, there are different ways to access our recordings. So this one was previously done. So if you wanted to look at it, you're able to. And I know that is on our site, but you can access our classes. The simplest way is to find the Wild Tech icon on your iPad.
Okay.
So on mine, it's on the third screen, and it says WTA DACL. So that icon takes you to the website with our different recorded presentations. If I tap on that icon, then again, it takes us to the library of recorded presentations, and you should see all of the different sessions that we have, like our advanced sessions, our old resource groups, and our interest groups. So you have everything, even way back from 2021 when the program started. So you have a lot of stuff here. So you're able to look at all the different things that we've had, so across the years. So again, it's here. It's also in the daily reminder at the bottom where you hit the link to access our classes. But if you find the Wild Tech icon on your iPad, that's the easiest way to access them. Okay, Miss Melanie?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And one more question. I did think when I go to the library and have the one-on-one sessions, is that counted for? It's a class?
Miss Melanie, so again, so that requirement to the program, again, we go over it, every day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1:30, but anytime you attend an afternoon session at 1:30, that's towards that requirement. This, for example, is an additional session. So it's just additional information, because last year, if we have some folks in the call today, remember that we just had a daily session, just 5 sessions a week, 1 a day last year. So these sessions, for example, are in addition. So the library trainings are mainly to assist you in just, making sure you're started. If you have any, any in-person, assistance that you may need, or you may just want to, be with other participants, and you may just want to get out. So of course you get, credit, I'm gonna put that in quotations. It's, all of the participation, not counts, but it's known and recognized, so yeah, but after those 6, again, for that requirement, again, we have folks on since 2021, still come on, still learn. And again, our afternoon sessions are repeated. So again, some things don't just come once or even twice or even like 3 times, even for myself. So that's why we repeat those sessions, so that way you can just dive into more and understand more about like the basics of your iPad. Okay. But anytime you attend the 1:30 p.m. session, again, that's our main sessions. Those are our bread and butter. We have iPad instruction Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we have our DC resources and interest groups on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So those are the main sessions that we hold. These are just addition, and then for those that want to learn more, it's fun, a little more interactive. So I hope that helps out. Okay.
It does. Thank you.
No promise, Melanie. Yeah. And the last question I'll be taking for today before our 12 o'clock session is Miss Lorraine. Hi, Miss Lorraine. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Good.
Okay,
Good.
I'm calling to find out, how do I find out if I've taken all the required lessons?
Miss Lorraine, I'm in charge of that. So whenever you complete your sessions, or anyone completes at least 6, I'll give them a call to give them their status. Program status, and any questions or updates I may need to bring, or you may need to bring to the attention. So once you complete those, you'll be receiving a call from me just to confirm that, and again, ask any questions that you may have. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's on us, but just keep coming on, keep learning more. Repetition is really key when it comes to tech, and just being able to learn different things, and it's quite an experience. So I look forward to seeing you get on more Zooms. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Before we get on break, I didn't recognize this last week, but I just wanted to say, I'm so, again, proud of us for able to go over these concepts and have a constructive discussion and learning about things that we use in our daily life. And last week, we have covered over 60 apps together, you all. Isn't that crazy? The ones that started way back in the beginning of the year, we were just on this screen, but these literally 60 apps from different games, different resources, fun, iPad apps, all of that good stuff. It's it's really amazing. So I look forward to the next 30, and we'll be coming out with some new sessions
All right.
towards the middle of this month. So I really keep looking forward to doing this with you all. It's so much fun. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out there. You can do anything on this iPad. It's all up just to your imagination and what you feel like accomplishing. But I hope these sessions, and I hope today's sessions was useful. To being organized and just learning how to use your iPad in different ways, but also useful. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
No problem. So again, we'll have our lunch club in about 8 minutes or so. So please stay on for that. Get something to eat, get something to drink, and we'll get started in about 8 minutes or so. So stay on, please. We always have fun during our lunch club, and I'll see you all shortly. Okay.
Hey,
Okay,
Alex,
have a good one.
did I tell you what our new name is? You may have heard it.
What's your new name?
We're King Agers and Queen Agers.
Yeah. Oh, I heard, Brenda. That made me laugh. I was
Okay, you heard.
no,
Okay.
yeah, no. I was on the phone this morning, or I was getting ready, but I heard the conversation. It was so funny. So. But no, I heard that's so cute. I love it. I'll see you all in a few.
Okay.
Have a good one now.
Bye, Alex.